Hello, how you all doing? Hope you're doing well. Have a great evening, afternoon, day, night, whatever the case is. Hope you are doing well. Want to make a video of how to install patches on your Helix product or your Helix software. Now, regardless of whatever Helix display you have, or software or product, what if you have the HX native plugin, which is basically a Helix install on your computer, or you have physical products such as the Helix rack version, the floor, the LT, or the newest Stadium and Stadium XL models. The process is the same, similar. It might be different than the Stadium. I can't really tell you because I've never held or played a Stadium. But it should be similar process of loading in patches. But um, just follow along. If you have physical Helix with you, what if it's again Stadium, floor, LT, rack, whatever, make sure you connect the USB host that's founded on the back of your Helix to your computer. You want to get the corresponding cables, that way it can recognize. And then you want to download a software called HX Edit, which is the software you're going to be using to download, to edit, to import, export all of whatever the Helix has to offer inside. Um, Helix Native is going to be the same thing, except again, it's a plugin inside a computer, but it's the same thing. So, let me show you how to install patches. So, you want to go over to your Helix software. Again, what if it's Helix Native, which is what I'll be using for today, or your HX Edit with your physical Helix. You want to open those up. This is what you're going to look like with the set list and patches, signal chain, and the categories and parameters you have. Don't get confused with the set list with the preset location, because there is two buttons up here. You have import and you have import back here. The import on the top is only to import a set list containing multiple patches in one. So if you want to import a set list that has different patches in one single chain, you would do it on this area right here. If you want to import a separate patch or just a single patch inside a set list, you want to go this area here where you have presets and you have things such as copy, paste, import, and export. You want to go on to the import feature of this slide here on the preset page on the left corner. Same thing, it'll show up on the HX Edit. But anyways, let's say I have a patch, right? You download a patch, you bought a patch from wherever you found it, and you want to import on the Helix. You want to make sure you first want to save the folder containing the patch that you've bought or download, and then you want to go over to this page here. Again, same thing with HX Edit. And let's say I want to save the preset, I want to save the patch, but in a different set list. Let's say from factory 1, I'm going to choose, let's say, user 3, which has, more than 30 patches that are empty that I can use it to import or to create new patches. But in this case, I want to install a patch. Once I'm in the set list, and then I then choose what preset location I want to import the patch. So in this case, I'm going to do 3C. I choose that, I highlight it, and then I go on to the import option. And then you want to start importing the patch that you downloaded. Make sure you save in a folder for easy labeling, easy organization. Select your patch you want to install, and then you're good to go. As you can see, I have a couple patches here, custom patches that I have worked. Some of them are in the process right now. So I can choose any. Let's say I'll choose the recent patch that I just released called J Vintage. I click that and I click on open. It's going to ask you if you want to override the highlighted patch location. You click on yes, and then after that you double click it, and then you have the patch installed on your Helix or the plugin itself. That's for patches. And then over here again, you can, mess around. You can move parameters up and down. You can, you know, change this. You can even switch the stomps if you like, depending on the DSP, obviously. So if I want to change this overdrive to a fuzz, I click this, and then that's there, and vice versa, right? You can add blocks to it. Let's say I want to add a block here. You can do that. Like add a modulation. Let's put let's say vibrato, and boom, it's there. Again, you can do whatever you want. That's for patches. If you want to import IRs or impulse responses, it's similar thing. And you don't know what impulse response is, they're essentially, think of it as more like a frequency range that you're downloading with different mics settings to enhance the stock amps that you have in the Helix. So it's going to make it more realistic. That's kind of what impulse response is. It changes character, it changes frequency, but it also changes the feel and sound from the stock amp inside the Helix, which makes it more realistic, which is pretty cool. But anyways, let's do the same thing here. So on the top, you have presets and you have IRs. To import IRs, you obviously click on IRs. And as you can see, I have a couple IRs here. They're not mine, even though I do bought them. I just have them here because I like to mess around with different experiments and tones. But I do plan to make my own IRs. And a lot of people are doing their own IRs, which is pretty cool. So let's say you already have an IR that you created, or you bought an IR, whatever the case is. You want to make sure you go onto the IR section and you choose the location that you want to put your impulse response. Let's say I'm going to put it on, let's say on slot 10. I click on slot 10. I click on import on the top. And again, make sure you organize your folder that contains your patches and your impulse response. Once you do that, then you can go on and then import. Same thing. If it asks you to overwrite, you click on yes. If it doesn't, keep going. And after that, you're good to go. And here, you can then start loading in your IR. I go here, and depending on where you put the IR, you want to match the slot as well. So I can load in, for example, this one from Worship Tutorials. Then I can start messing around with the low cut, the high cut, the mix, the level, and stuff like that. So it's basically that. And that's it. So yeah, hope this video helps you out. Pretty straightforward. Again, this is for any Helix product and model, HX, native, rack, floor, LT, even the stadium as well. And for the HX stomp, it's the same thing too. However, some of the Helix patches that are made from the floor are not going to be compatible with the HX stomp because it's small and the DSP is very limited. But the process is the same thing. So if you have patches that are built for HX stomp, the process is the same. If you have the physical HX stomp or HX stomp XL, whatever the case is, same thing. You connect the USB host from the back to your computer, open your HX software, and the steps I showed you is the exact same thing regardless. So it's also the same thing for HX stomp as well. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna be going, but thank you so much for sticking around. And if you have any questions, just let me know. But other than that, God bless you and have yourself a great day. Peace.